Hi everyone, and welcome to my first YouTube video on this channel. My name is Stacy Kennedy. I'm 24 years old and I'm married to my husband whose name is Quincy. Currently we live in Australia. We moved here 3 years ago from Michigan, which is a northern slash middle state in the United States. So we came over here just after we got married. We had both graduated uni. Decided to try it out for a year and ended up staying and loving it. So that's where we are now. Quincy works in sales. Excuse me. Quincy works in sales, and I work at Compassion. It's a non-for-profit organization where we work through local churches and help sponsor kids. So that's just a little bit about us. The other big thing is that we are 31 weeks pregnant, which is why I'm out of breath just recording this video sitting on the floor in the nursery. Which leads me to the main point of this channel. Ultimately, I think this channel will be more of a vlog type channel where I record our daily lives and things like that with little videos like this thrown here and there. And the other important reason for me to start this channel and film our babies is because, like I said, we do live so far away from our family that, it's just hard. They're not going to be able to see and watch our kids grow up firsthand. And so I thought starting a YouTube channel would be really great. Just even if it's just me and my mom watching these videos and crying, at least we'll have something to document it. And if it turns into something bigger, then that's even better. So yeah, that's what you can kind of expect from this channel is pregnancy updates, the normal mommy videos, things like that, but with a lot of daily life vlogs thrown in there. So I'll just get started into that part of the video. I'll start out with just how we got pregnant. Well, not how we got pregnant, but planning to get pregnant and that kind of thing. So last year, we started trying to get pregnant last August, which is actually exactly a year ago. That's crazy. Yeah, a year ago this month, we started trying for a family. So we got pregnant pretty quickly. I think we got pregnant in September. No, it was our third month, so we didn't get pregnant in August, we didn't get pregnant in September, and then in October we did get pregnant. So we got pregnant. Everything seemed like it was going okay, but then at 6 weeks I unfortunately started bleeding and we had a miscarriage. So we miscarried on November 19th, 2017. Which really kind of shook me a little bit. I think I was aware of, that pregnancies, things can happen, but you just never really expect it to happen to you. So that was pretty hard on us. We, you lose a baby, you want people to recognize that. And so we were quite open with it. We posted it even on social media, and a lot of our friends had already known because we weren't quiet about our pregnancy. So it was great to have the support. A lot of people like to keep that kind of thing quiet, which I understand. It's a very personal thing to go through. But we chose to share it a bit more publicly, and the support we got out of it, especially being so far away from family, was way more beneficial than, in my opinion, than keeping it quiet. So yeah, that was really tough. And then we decided to take a little break from trying again. I wasn't quite ready yet. So we didn't try in December. So we didn't try that first month in November, and then we didn't try again in December. And then January, I had a cycle. I think the 16th of January was the first day of my cycle. And we decided that, yes, we would try that month, sort of try. Like, my husband argues that we didn't really try because in his mind trying is having sex every single day, and we didn't do that. So But yeah, we fell pregnant in January, which was great. I think I found out in early February that we were pregnant. I tend to find out like 5 days before my period, which is really great. So I don't have to wait as long. So yeah, 3 and a bit weeks, we already knew that we were pregnant. Yes, and so that the pregnancy was pretty similar to last time. I was a bit more nervous just because, um, you go through a miscarriage, and so you kind of a bit more fearful. So I was extremely careful, probably highly stressed for the first few weeks, especially leading up to 6 weeks, because that was when the miscarriage happened last time. So, um, yeah, very nervous at 6 weeks. And then actually at 6 weeks, I started bleeding again. Um, so that was devastating. Quincy and I were on a little mini weekend away in Sydney, and yeah, we were getting ready in the morning, and I woke up and I saw that I had bled overnight, and it was devastating. We thought for sure we were having another miscarriage. I called my doctor, and she said that she'd get me in for a scan that day, which was really nice of her. So I didn't have to go through the hospital or anything. I was just able to go to an ultrasound place, and they scanned us, and everything was fine. Her heart, they picked up a perfect heartbeat. She was measuring right on track. Um, Everything looked good. They couldn't tell me a reason for the bleeding. So, yeah, we were still pretty nervous at that stage, but it was such a relief. It was like an up and down roller coaster, because we had just thought for sure that we had miscarried, or at least I did. I was already mentally preparing myself that I'd lost that baby as well. So, yeah, and then the bleeding basically just lasted for half a day. Like, it went away and didn't come back. So, unexplained, I guess, which I guess just goes to tell you, like, if you are in pregnancy, um, they always say bleeding is a cause of concern, but in my case, it hasn't been. Yeah, so leading on to that, it was about 6 weeks when I started to feel quite heavily sick, morning sickness. I never actually vomited, which was great. Well, I only vomited once. But I would just do a lot of dry heaving, and everything made me feel sick. Like, I didn't want anything basically except for carbs or like Sprite. Oh yeah, terrible food. I would just eat awful fried, greasy foods. It's like having a constant hangover, basically, without the relief, really. So that lasted from about 6 weeks to 13 weeks. The days of me feeling sick kind of got more sporadic. Like, I'd have a really good day, and then a bad day, and then I'd have 2 good days, and then a bad day, and so on until it kind of just tapered off at about, yeah, just over 13 weeks. So that was really great relief. And then, yeah, then I was in the second trimester, and that was a breeze. It was like I had energy back. My heartburn, which I had had a little bit in the first trimester, had disappeared. What else? Like, you just feel back to yourself again. You're not ginormously huge. You're still kind of slowly growing a belly. But you don't have any of the nasty side effects as the first trimester, at least generally, and that's what happened for me. So the second trimester was wonderful, quite easy, just getting ready, getting excited. At I think it was about 18 weeks, pretty sure 18 weeks, yep, I started bleeding again. So, which, it scared us all over again. So I called my midwife, and they recommend that you go in and go to the hospital. So that's what I did. And again, they monitor you, they do a scan, they look to see, where the bleeding is coming from, if they can find it. They're quite thorough, actually, which is good. Gives you a bit of a peace of mind, even though I'm not a huge fan of being in the hospital. I'm thankful that they're very thorough, and are helpful. So we had the scan, everything looked good. The only thing that they did say was that I had a low-lying placenta. It wasn't completely covering my cervix, which basically, if you don't know what that means, is your uterus is like, I guess, a big balloon, and your placenta attaches itself basically anywhere it wants to. And the best place for it to attach is high and in the back. But mine had kind of attached itself in the front of my belly and towards the bottom. So that's what they kind of put the bleeding down to, was that it was my placenta being a bit low. And they weren't too concerned about it. The obstetrician that was at the hospital while I was there, she just basically said to me she was assuming that it would correct itself. She put me on pelvic rest, which is not fun, but yeah, we couldn't have intercourse, no like heavy exercise or lifting, and she just said basically take it extra careful. So going to work and then coming home, and nothing more strenuous than walking. So that's what I did. I was quite careful because I was sick of bleeding and I wanted to help prevent it in any way I could. And then she gave me a referral to get another scan, so that way they could watch and monitor to see if it was raising, which it did. So I didn't have any more bleeding for a while. I think, the second trimester continued on to be pretty straightforward. So that was at 18 weeks. Again, just growing, healthy, happy baby. All the scans, like my ultrasounds were coming back normal. I had my normal 20-week morphology scan. That was all normal. Confirmed again that we're having a baby girl, which we had already known because we had an early gender scan at 15 weeks because I just couldn't wait. So yeah, everything looked good. I didn't really have any out of the blue like symptoms. The occasional heartburn really was honestly the worst that I would get. So then bring us forward to 28 weeks, and I had another spout of bleeding. This time it was much worse, like heavier than the ones that I had had in the past. So all over again, freaked us out. Like, we assumed everything was okay, but you just never want to see bleeding, no matter how many times it happens. You never want to see bleeding when you're pregnant because, like, it could be a cause for concern. And so just the emotions of all over again, going back to the hospital, getting scanned, So went through that all over again. They monitored me for, I think, 48 hours just to make sure, her heart rate was fine and I didn't have any more bleeding and that kind of thing. So did the scan, did the little fun duck lip specimen check, speculum check, to see if they can find any bleeding, that kind of thing. And everything looked good. They couldn't give me a reason. My placenta had moved up completely, like it wasn't anywhere near my cervix at this point. So they were like, oh, have you had intercourse? Maybe that's why you're bleeding. And I was like, no, you put me on pelvic rest, so I haven't had intercourse in a long time. So it all just kind of came up as unexplained, which the obstetrician again explained to me that sometimes that's better to not have a reason than to find a reason. So I think they're kind of just assuming at this point that I've got a very sensitive cervix, and because you've got so much extra blood flow in your body when you're pregnant, any little thing can kind of set off some bleeding. So that's kind of what they've just been telling me. Unfortunately, if I do, even though we kind of know that, they've always said, like, if you do ever bleed again, you have to come back and be monitored again for 48 hours, which is annoying, but at the same time, I really appreciate how thorough they're being, because they go through and they check every cause that could be causing it. And so, yeah, they're pretty good in that regard. So Yeah, so that was at 28 weeks, which actually wasn't too long ago. And now we are 31 weeks. So the past, that was about 3.5, 4 weeks ago. Yeah, now that we're in the third trimester, everything's going really well. I think I've had an extremely healthy, good pregnancy so far, and I'm so thankful. Even though we've had little scares here and there, like she's fine. She measures great every time we have an ultrasound. My blood pressure's been good. I was screened for gestational diabetes, and those numbers came back great. Everything's just been great and healthy. I do have low iron, which I kind of expected because I'm not a huge fan of red meat. Yeah, other than that, the only other main symptom I have has been heartburn. Heartburn has been awful. In the big scheme of things, like, it's normal. That's what I tell myself. Like, it's just a normal part of pregnancy. It's nothing to be worried about. I can deal with some heartburn. Like, overall, I'm just so grateful that this pregnancy has been healthy and my baby's healthy and everything is looking as good as it can be. So that's me at 31 weeks. I probably should stop recording now because this video is going to be ages long already. There's so much more I could say, but I'll probably stop there. I do want to just at the end of each little pregnancy update share a few things that I've purchased that I really like for the baby. So the first one is a baby wrap, like a carrier. We have a baby Bjorn carrier that Quincy will wear, but I wanted to do more like the wrap stretchy ones, at least while she's little. So I bought a what's it called? A Moby wrap, I think. It's like either a Moby wrap or a Boba wrap or something like that. I think it's the Moby wrap. I bought a Moby wrap ages ago, but then I realized how thick the quality, like the fabric is, which is good if you have a baby in winter, but I live in Australia and I'm having a baby in October, which is in spring, and if you're familiar with Australia, it's very hot even in spring. Like, we're in the middle of winter and I'm wearing a t-shirt. So I was like, there's no way I can carry a baby around in that. So the other wrap that I bought is called a Vixa. This is just the little holder that they give with it, but it's like Vixa. I'll link their website down below. I think they're Australia based. Yeah, they would be because I didn't have to pay international shipping. So, but I'm sure you can order it from the States or anywhere else that you live. So this is the wrap. It's very long and huge, but it's just so beautiful to me. I love the color. I love that it's just bright and yellow. And the main reason that I bought it was because the fabric is so stretchy and light. Like, it's very thin and lightweight. Take my word for it, if you're after a very thin, lightweight, stretchy, very comfy, like soft fabric for a baby carrier, like the wrap, definitely go with this one because, yeah, it just feels amazing. So that's the first little purchase that I'm very excited about. Can't wait to carry her around at the beach and that. So for some reason my camera just decided to stop recording. It's my husband's and I don't actually know how to work it. So I don't think my belly shots got into the last one. So I'll do those really quickly again. So this is my belly at 31 weeks, roughly. I haven't had any stretch marks yet, which I'm thankful for, but I'm not in denial to not think they're coming, so probably will get a few. It's the front of my belly, my little crooked line, and the other side. And the only thing I've really been putting on it has been coconut oil, and not even faithfully, so I've been pretty relaxed in that area of things. I guess, I don't know. Stretch marks don't really scare me, so if they come, they come. But yeah, so that is my 31 week / introduction to this channel video. If you liked it and you'd like to see more, I'll be back next week with a 32 week update. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.